Welcome to the Narrate podcast, where we aim to tell God's story with our lives. We'll be continuing to post the Sunday message each week, but we want to dive a little deeper and offer some content to supplement your life with God, and that's where our Beyond Sunday series comes in. Join Adam and Narrate staff as they provide thoughtful discussions, ideas, and interviews that go beyond the message you'll hear on Sunday.
In February of 24, we did this message. It was kind of in an era of survival because there was a lot going on. But it was also as I think we were starting to make sense of post-COVID and just community. And I think we came out of COVID with a stronger commitment to helping people find community.
Yeah.
To treat it as less intuitive. And so in the end, what happened was Hannah's sitting here with me, so you and I collaborated on this document that we like to think had some humility to it, but was just us going here's 20 things that we observe by the nature of our work and vocation, and then also experience ourselves that have served us well. And then it seems more recently we've had this come up of you guys should focus on that again or re-emphasize that.
Yeah.
So here we are.
Best practices for building friendships and community.
You and Scott moved here knowing nobody.
Correct. We didn't know a soul here.
Do you feel like you brought skills with you, or you learned these as you dove in?
I was actually thinking about that this morning when you were talking about JR going to Bozeman. And I was remembering when I spent 3 years at MSU in Bozeman, and I got involved with InterVarsity pretty early on, and it was a mentor through InterVarsity that said, in these years, you will never be so close to community as right now. There will never be people in your life that are just ready and waiting for community. So really take advantage of these years. And so I think in those years, I really took that seriously and strived to just develop friendships and show up. And I think, and Scott did the same thing as well. And so I think we kind of carried that with us when we showed up in Helena, just this real value for community and friendships. And Scott's way better at it than I am, so.
I was just going to ask, because my observation would be not that, but do you have complementary strengths and weaknesses with that?
Sure, yeah.
It's funny, as we were moving JR into the dorm several times, because Chase and Lincoln were also there, and I forget who, but there was multiple comments of, I can't believe Scott lived in these things for 4 years.
4 years, and loved it. And there was a season where they had 3 guys in a room because it was cheaper.
That'd be so cool.
Can't imagine.
Maybe let's take turns. I'll start. Find a good church. Good churches are full of good people. You have any comments on that one?
I've seen that play out in my life. It's very true. If you're looking for good people, go to a church. And not every person you meet is going to be your best friend, but it's a great place to start.
Yeah, we'll see if it serves them or proves true, but that's been one of my few mantras to the boys as it relates to faith, is just hoping that what we've modeled and what they've seen growing up is, because I just feel like that's objectively true. Narrate's full of great people with lots of different interests and lots of different affinities, and that creates great opportunity. We'll see if it holds true.
Yeah, number 2, be a Sunday regular, if not owner. I think there's something so important about just showing up every week. Just us and other people getting to see your face, even if we don't interact. There's just something about seeing someone every week.
Yeah, I think Narrate's grown in this regard since COVID. It feels to me like there's a higher percentage of every weekers than there was 5 years ago. That's totally subjective, but
yeah, I could see that.
I'll be curious to see. We'll know this fall because, as we've talked about internally, our July average attendance was the same as September, which either speaks to tremendous growth or that we've grown in our regularity. I'll be curious to see. I think it's a little bit of both, but what I say, I find myself oftentimes saying to someone who's mad, who's like pointing a finger at their loneliness and the way Narrate's failed them, is if I look to my left and I see someone who's there every week, and I look to my right and I see somebody who's there every month, then you can't blame me for moving towards those people on my toward my left. So that there's this huge advantage, I think, to just being in this space consistently. And being involved. Yeah. That's the other thing is we used to always use this mantra, like a party's more fun when you have a job. So that's that owner piece, right?
Or like the number of people that I see that go to a scattering or one of the book groups and then they like run into other people on Sunday morning is really fun too. Go like, oh yeah, that's right, we had this group together, oh we served together. Like just being present is so valuable.
Well, that reminds me of the Brooke and Lindsay story from the baptism gatherings, where Lindsay's a big runner and Brooke's were dedicating her and Noah's kids, and they met at the first gathering, and I think one of them followed the other one on social for running, and now they've done at least one, and maybe they're about to do their second race together.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Okay, number 3, on Sundays, arrive early and linger after. Where's that come from?
I think, that's a good question. I think just showing up, like not being in a rush or not arriving late, like giving yourself, okay, you've gotten there, so try to get there early and say hi to someone or just be available, and then don't rush out.
Yeah.
And I think we're getting better and more intentional with this after the 10:45, like having space to linger instead of just kind of getting right to tear down. Yeah,
there was evidence of that already this week, I think.
I think so, yeah.
And I think, go ahead.
Oh, that in between time, 10 to 10:45 is really fun too. Like just, that's a good crossover. If you stay late or you arrive early, you'll probably run into someone you can talk to.
Yeah. And I suppose one of the things that probably should be said in all this too is we've also worked really hard to not assume that everybody who's coming on Sunday is looking for friends or looking for a community. Like some people just are looking for a space to hide. And so none of this is to imply that that we want everybody to have these values, but it's more of to the extent that you want to get connected, here's how.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to walk in 5 minutes late and not look around and just walk right up to the balcony, you do it. You're welcome to.
Right. Yeah.
Number 4, initiate. Don't assume they're too busy.
I love C.S. Lewis's statement, even though I'm still trying to understand it, but I think I get it, where he says only lazy people are busy. And I think the second line is because only lazy people don't assign their time. So busyness to him, I think he's associating with being frantic, being rushed, being hurried, versus having a plan and working ahead.
Okay.
And that's the way I think about this. Like I just got, on Sunday, a friend talked to me who had done this trip this summer internationally and took some really cool photos, has been wanting to get a group of us friends together to watch his photos and have a meal and have a drink. And he's like, when are we going to, we got to get this going. And so I said, well, let's do a Friday. So send out some Fridays. So this morning I actually thought of it and I texted him. And in September and October, I only had 2 Fridays to offer. But the point is, we scheduled it. And Sweet. It's like 6 weeks out. I don't know. I think that initiation is important, even if you assume they're already inundated. How does this happen for you? Because you and Scott are also pretty relationally saturated.
Yeah, I think one of the things I go back to is like don't say no for them.
Oh yeah, I like that line.
Ask, and if they are too busy, they will tell you. Or hey, let's schedule that for 2 months out. Like, or you just push it out farther. But that's the thing I go back to. Just don't say no for someone.
I like that. Jim Darling used to always say, if you want to get something done, ask somebody who's already busy. And I think that's true socially. Like that's the problem is people who have good social skill are already going to be busy. And so you have to be persistent and planned. Number 5, reciprocate. You want to speak to that one first?
Yeah, sure. That one. Yeah, it's hard because it's easy to forget to reciprocate, but it's so important.
Yeah.
Like, just if someone has you over, have them over.
Yeah. And just to me, that's one of the marks of like abiding friendship is people that I get to be with, that it's not always, whether it's a bike ride or a dinner or a meetup at the Blackfoot or whatever, like I don't always have to initiate it.
That is, a nice feeling. Mm-hmm.
Which ties into, well, sorry, I guess that's your next, but I'll just take 6 and you can take 7. Ties into this number 6, count those who reciprocate as a grace, but don't expect it. Do you go through seasons of cynicism, like annually? Have you ever noticed like a cycle of cynicism?
Yeah, sometimes.
It's kind of a leading question, but.
Yeah, well, I'm like the introvert, so Scott will keep me social if I'm like not social for enough.
Of your social activities, how many do you think, like what percentage do you and or Scott initiate versus you're just saying yes to an invitation?
Ooh. I don't know, because that fluctuates season. I'd say we initiate 3/4 of the stuff we do. Mm-hmm. I don't know. That's a hard question.
It is, and somewhat subjective.
Right.
But I'd be surprised if it wasn't that, and I'd be surprised if most people that we think of as highly networked and social, that's not true of. Like they're the initiator, and that for me is that's for me what I mean by that. Count those who reciprocate as a grace, but don't expect it, because I will catch myself. It seems like it's once or twice a year, and probably if I wrote it down, there's probably seasons, but because I know one of them is late summer, I enter into this season of cynicism where I feel like the only time I'm ever hanging out with anybody is if I've initiated it, which if you think about that too much will become lonely.
It can, yeah.
But I also think there's something there about charisms and the way the Spirit gives some of us gifts. So I've just had to learn. It's kind of like I had to learn really early on, if someone took an interest in Anglicanism, that was a grace. I couldn't expect it. I feel the same way about reciprocation. Like it's possible for someone to be a truly genuine, meaningful friend and to find yourself in this cycle where you initiate all the time.
Sure. I think this goes well into number 7, which is say yes. Because I've had people say, well, I know you're going to say yes, so when do you want to do this? Or we want to do this ride. You're going to say yes, let's plan it. And if someone else wants to come, great. If not, fine. But so I think once you start saying yes, people know that about you. And that's like actually one of our values as a couple. Like Scott and I, we always try really hard to say yes to things and show up, because I think it's important to show up for people.
That's good. I think I've learned that from you, and that's part of for me, the self-accountability of the cynicism is, if you're not careful, it becomes self-fulfilling prophecy. If the only thing you ever want to do is the stuff that you want to do, and thus everybody else's idea sucks, then you do end up in this cycle where pretty soon you realize you're the only one that initiated. So whether it's a bike route or certain things, for me it's a discipline, because I have opinions, I have plans, I'm a controller. So like even Scott a couple Fridays ago, you guys were all backpacking, he's like, hey, we're all gonna come over on Friday, and in my head I was like, I was so looking forward to just being home alone and hanging out, and it was not to say that I didn't enjoy myself once I was there, but it was a discipline for me of like, say yes. Well, and if I'm being honest with myself, I always just want to do my own thing, or most of the time, but I rarely regret showing up and being with people. Like, it rarely do I go, oh, I should have said no. Right, that's a really good point. Number 8, send open-ended invites with lots of notice. Something like, hey, in the next couple of months, would you want to grab dinner? Then schedule it. You kind of alluded to this earlier, but also I guess I don't know, what else would you say about that?
The actually scheduling it part is really important.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to go, hey, we should do that.
I try to be that person that if I say let's get together, I actually email them.
Or this is one point where having your calendar on your phone is really helpful, because the number of times I just go, well, great, what does your schedule look like? Let's put it in there. Is really helpful. Number 9, Keep your commitments. Don't let FOBO or fear of better options win out.
Oh, man. Yes. I don't know what else to say about that other than yes.
Yep.
It's okay to... I think we're rediscovering that it's okay to do things slightly sick, and... because it just... yeah. It's really discouraging to be canceled on.
It really is. This weekend we floated the Missouri with some friends, and afterwards I found out one of them had a migraine the whole day, and I was like, man, I think I would have canceled. Like, but not to say you have to do everything with a migraine, but
right.
Just that, like, keep your commitments, show up.
Number 10, schedule ahead. 1 week minimum. I feel like those two are very strongly connected. I mean, I find I have to do that, but I think as an introvert, and that kind of no pressure line that I use all the time, it's just so much more approachable to say to someone, hey, do you want to get together? Like, what is today, August 18th, 19th? So if I was emailing somebody today about lunch or coffee or anything, I would literally be saying like, hey, I'd love to get together in September or early October. It just feels, and then it just takes away the stress.
Yeah. Yeah, number 11, chemistry matters. It's okay to like someone but lack the affinity to be close.
Was that yours? I guess it doesn't matter.
I don't remember.
A lot of these were amalgamation, but
I think that's important. Like, there can be people you're really close to, and then people you just share a hobby with, and then people that you say hi to when you're in a large group. There's nothing wrong with that.
And it's hard to name as a Christian, because that, like, love your neighbor is easily confused with you should have the capacity to be besties with every person you go to church with.
That just sounds exhausting.
It does,
like,
yeah.
I love people, but if I had to be close to 500 people, yeah, I couldn't do that.
But isn't that also then what lends itself to things like clickiness? Because then what happens is the people who have the skill set for community, they end up together.
Sure.
And then you end up with these people on the edges. But yeah, I still think affinity is a thing that needs to be given its dignity.
Yeah.
I forget whose turn it is. Is it mine or yours?
I can go. Okay. I can't remember. Consider pursuing people in a different age and stage.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one.
Do you guys do much of that?
Yeah. We do a lot of that.
Why do you think, what's the value there?
Well, you're so limited if you just stick to people who are your age and exact stage of life. Like, there's so much more diversity when you go outside of that. Like, but and retired people tend to have more free time like we do.
Totally, yeah. And yeah.
So that's great,
yep.
you know.
People without kids have, yep.
Yeah. Or, like, because we don't have kids, showing up in the lives of our friends who do have kids is super fun, because I'm like, oh, this is awesome, because I can hang out with your kids and leave. Like, I'm not tired by them like parents could be. Plus,
you're easy to invite because you don't add to the chaos. I mean, it's just this is another one that I feel like I'm constantly pounding on this drum when meeting with people about. Like, we have this kind of, I think at times, fictitious image in our head of, oh, you have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, and I have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, and we should be besties. And sometimes that works. But I think what we found personally to have worked far better was, oh, you've got an 8-year-old and a 6-year-old, and we've got a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. That works better. And also, like our single friends and our couples without kids, whether that was because their kids were grown or they didn't have kids, those were some of the easiest friends to have. So I think, yeah, different age and stage is huge.
Yeah.
Number 13, return messages. Ghosting sends its own message. Wah, wah, wah.
Well.
It's so hard because we all get inundated with messages.
It's so hard.
I think, I know I'm an insecure person, but if I invite somebody more than a few times and just don't hear back, I eventually just stop inviting. That's, for me, where this comes from. Is, and I think what we all do is we answer it in our head, or we see it and we can't say no. And it's not often something that we do out of any kind of ill will, but it does send its own message. I think that's your line. Ghosting sends its own message.
Is it? Well, yeah, and unfortunately, it communicate like it's in the hands of like if I get ghosted on, I just fill that with what I want, what I think it is, and it's often a worst case scenario. Like maybe the person just forgot, or like didn't see it, or it didn't send, or you know, you backfill that with its own message that's often wrong.
So do you do a zero? What is that called? Like a zero-sum inbox in your email? Like if it's there, it demands some kind of an action?
Well, I don't... My inbox has a ton, because if it's unread, then it needs an action.
Okay. So even if you read it, but it needs an action, then you just mark it as unread? Okay. Yeah. So that's the same.
I do the same with my text, too. Like that little blue dot. Yeah. Which I'm not perfect at.
Yeah, I'm not either. And pinning it. I've learned to...
Oh,
sometimes I'll pin it, but... Because, yeah, we all do this inadvertently at times, and sometimes... Yeah. And I've also had to realize in the last few years... We answer emails and really texts professionally, and I've developed more of a grace for people who, because like when I'm on a week's vacation or something, I don't want to answer email and I don't want to answer text. So just the realization is there is this weird overlap of we answer emails as a part of our work, so we have an advantage there.
I wish there was a bounce back for texting.
Yeah.
Is there? There probably isn't yet. You know, you'd be like, I will get to this.
Someone told me once, but it's auto.
Oh.
I think if you get online from the desktop side, there's like but yeah, I agree. Because remember when we were doing the Cal Newport stuff, I think Missy spoke to this idea that you can get on, but even then it's only like one per contact. So if you text me, I could have it auto reply something, but then unless I delete that conversation...
Oh.
You wouldn't get it a second time, even if it was 6 months later.
Number 14, eat together.
Pretty basic.
Pretty basic, yeah.
How much of your social time involves eating?
A lot of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Y'all have to eat. Might as well do it together.
That was Vert's line to me when I first got hired as an intern, and it was like 20 hours a week, and 4 or 5 of those were Wednesday nights for youth group. But then it was like, he called it contact time. So I want you to spend 14 to 15 hours a week in contact time with students, which basically meant one-on-one. And I was like, how do I do that? And he goes, just buy them food.
Food.
And it just takes away the awkwardness so fast.
Food.
Gives you something to hide behind. Number 15, invite people into your home. You guys do a lot of that.
We do, yeah.
Are you haunted by... like this pressure to have the like perfect decorated home?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah. But I was just listening to the Dr. John Deloney podcast, and he challenged someone to invite people over but purposefully leave like the dishes undone or leave like a laundry basket out, because he was like, that doesn't matter ultimately. Like how people feel in your home. I mean, obviously, like, you want to put your best foot forward, but he was like, real friendship doesn't demand, like, this show or this perfection.
Sure.
So that's something I'm going to work on. Because I like to have it, like, really clean, and it is hard, but I don't know.
Whose turn is it?
Oh, mine. 16, invite people into your plans. Example, I'm hiking next Thursday after work. Want to join?
Yeah.
That's a good one, too.
It is, yeah. And so easy.
So easy, because I'm already going to go do the thing.
Reminds me of, gosh, I don't know how long ago it was that Jack Oberweiser spoke, and his line was, there's always room for one more.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Number 17, be intentional about the extent to which your family of origin is going to function as your community. We can debate the ideal, but at the very least, proceed with intention. I think that's the longest one on the list. Does Dr. Cloud say if your family of origin is your family of God, then your family of God is unhealthy? I think that's kind of all related. But I do think everyone's got to pay their fee on that one. You guys are definitely not family of origin as your community.
Well, they don't live here, so it's pretty easy.
That's fair.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. 18. Be careful with youth, sports, recreation, or traveling. Left to themselves, they'll leave you without long-term community.
You like to talk about youth sports. What would you like to say here?
I just want to say I don't have children who are in youth sports, but it does seem like it's a lot. I mean, the intensity with which we treat youth sports is wild. Wild.
I had a friend text me at the start of the All-Star season this year because his son made All-Stars and is just starting the All-Star cycle as a young guy, and he's like, it was me and one other friend, and he's like, I need some advice. And I felt so bad afterwards because it was one of those, I just spontaneously reacted, and it was something like, you'll have to give it your own boundaries, or else when he's 18 you'll be broke, divorced, and neither one of you will have a faith life. And we actually later talked about it, and he wasn't put off by it, but that's the way I think about it. Is I've had to tell myself, especially when my kids started playing Legion, like, their job is to win baseball games. Like, that's their job. It's not to have boundaries. And so the boundaries have to come from within, because it's kind of like there's always going to be the kid on the playground who's tougher than you. There's always going to be the coach that's willing to put in the time. You've got to be the one that finds the boundaries, I think.
Yeah, that's good. I think too, like, I mean, I think we've talked about this on a Sunday, like, recreation's one of the things, if we're not careful, it can just be all consuming. Or like traveling, you know, it's like important to do that with people, or like do that as a part of your community.
Inviting people along. 19.
Show up when someone has a need. And this one also has, bear one another's burdens, and in this way you fulfill the law of Christ. Galatians 6:2.
Yeah. You guys are great at that. You and Scott.
Yeah, we try to be, Yeah.
Fred used to always, probably still says, relationships are comprised of kind words and shared experiences. And I think oftentimes for all of us, those shared experiences, that doesn't always have to be mountain biking. It can be helping a friend in this time of need, even though, again, for those of us people who have to get to planning tend to be good at community, and then therefore it's hard to deal with the spontaneous.
Yeah. I think that it's funny because I'm like, Scott's better at all of these than me. He is so good at like addressing the need. I think one of his working geniuses is enablement, so he'll just help. He's like, I'm ready to help.
Yeah.
So good.
Number 20, last one, leave room for more friendships. Don't get too comfortable and thus settle for only your existing friend group. How much, like what you would subjectively call kind of your core friend group, how different is it than 5 years ago?
Oh, man. I don't know. It's different. But we've added people for sure. Yeah.
I mean, I feel this one because I feel pretty relationally saturated right now. In fact, even our SWOT analysis, that was one of the things I brought up, was I think our staff is really good at being relationally available. I also think there's such longevity on our staff right now that we're pretty saturated, which could become a liability.
Yeah.
But also Teresa and I are experimenting with something even this fall where it's like, man, we've got different handfuls of people that fit into that, like, wish we hung out more. And so we've just created a couple kind of hangouts where we just literally invited the people that fit that category.
Nice.
Not all of them, of course, there's always more, but but also what I've seen, I guess, from the vocational side over the years is if you don't do that, then what happens is you hit this point of relational saturation. And I feel like, I've seen this at Narrate a fair amount. A couple or an individual can hit a point of relational saturation, so they kind of withdraw, and that might even impact their being around on Sundays, but they withdraw a little bit from scattering and just doing the spontaneous stuff and meeting new people. And then 5 years later, I mean, people move, people get divorced, people die, life, there's this entropy is such a real thing as things move from order to disorder, and then what happens, I think, is it's almost like a financial thing. Then you end up just buried by loneliness and cynicism again because you thought you had this strong core, and then it takes a lot of energy to restart.
Yeah.
Rather than just always assuming that another Fredism. Fred used to always say at any given point, I can't remember if it was 10 or 20% of your community is mad at you.
Oh my gosh.
So it's just this way of allowing, like, don't get so bent out of shape. There's always going to be people mad at you. But I think the same is true as 10 to 20% of your community is gonna roll over.
Yeah.
But that could leave you with nothing really soon if you're not doing the work of staying engaged with new people and all of that.
That goes back to like what you said Jack Oberweiser would say, there's always room for one more. Like you can always invite someone in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well,
that's good.
There's always
good to
room for more
revisit.
conversation. Yeah, it is good. Probably would have been good to go like, will we change any of these or any of that? But we didn't do any of that. So hopefully this is helpful. Anything else?
No, I think it's a really good start.
Sweet. Thanks.
If you'd like to learn more about Narrate Church, find us online at narratechurch.org.
You can also look us up on Facebook or Instagram. Thanks for listening.